Welcome to the Success Sensei Podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devan.
Bowing in. This is Robert Devan, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 335. By what age should you be successful?
It's the Success Sensei Podcast main event.
By what age should you be successful? It's a good question, that. Everyone, I'm sure, has an opinion on it. But one thing I will absolutely tell you for certain is it's one of everyone's biggest fears, that they are, too old. There was a time when I was a young, ambitious man, I thought I was too young to succeed. And now I come across so many people who believe they're too old to, achieve success, that they've missed the boat. And I think this is one of the reasons why people experience the quarter-life crisis and the midlife crisis, that panic that they should be a hell of a lot further than they currently are. Everyone's looking at everyone else's life, especially with social media, with rose-tinted glasses. And this is exactly where people are going wrong. Comparing to others. Full stop. It's a big mistake. Who is it that you're comparing to? Are you that detached from your friends that you're looking on in envy thinking, wow, they're so far ahead and they're so successful? Well, if they're friends, you should be more involved in their lives, and they should be, helping you with whatever knowledge. You should have definitely open communication with them if they're true friends as to their success. And I would imagine that if they're true friends, you're going to actually be fairly similar levels. You shouldn't have somebody that's so far ahead of you, call them a friend, if there's not open communication and back and forth helping. So I think that you're probably, all of us, looking at celebrities, looking at people who are influencers. Of one, I am absolutely not. Yes, I have a podcast, but it doesn't make me an influencer. I'll be quite happy, I suppose, with the mantle of influencer, especially if it got me more people that I could positively influence. But I guarantee you that everybody in that sphere are either a fluke, or a flake, or a fake. A fluke that their success was by accident and it's not something that you can emulate. A flake in that they're extremely unhappy people despite their, perceived success, despite their riches, despite their fame. They are very unhappy, they're very flaky. Or they're just a complete fake, none of it's true anyway. Are these the people that you're following, that you're looking up to, that you're hero worshipping, that you're following them in awe and trying to emulate what it is you reckon they are, that they have achieved, or absolutely try to copy their lifestyle? Well, that's a big mistake. Don't, as well, to this point, dismiss your life lessons. There, is a reason and there is a purpose to where you are right now. It will all add up. Absolutely keep the faith. The first thing before we get on to the answer of what age should you be successful. And I'm late, by the way, with this episode. You probably didn't even notice. I probably didn't even need to tell you that. Should have been out yesterday. So as a result, this one's going to be a bit longer. I don't normally write out my episode. Somebody only asked me that a couple of weeks ago. And I think a lot of podcasters do. I think they're reading from a script a lot of the time. I write down and I jot down points that I want to discuss. I actually don't spend long on it at all because I find it a boring process and I don't have the time to do it. And I want the podcast to be as real, as authentic and as in the moment as possible. hot take, if you will. So I tend to write down notes, which is why I make mistakes loads of times, because I can't read my own writing. And, I might be looking at a point going, what the hell did I write there? Or what did I mean by that? And I might go off on a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, no, I absolutely don't write lengthy episodes. And if I did, I think I've only done it a handful of times because it was important. It was about, my experience of being a fighter. I scripted that, and I told everybody at the very start that I was absolutely reading a story, reading from a script. So this isn't that, but it will be longer. Because I'm a little bit late with it, whether that has affected you or not. So getting back to it, by what age should you be successful? And the question will come up again, what is success? How can you compare success if you haven't defined success? What is success to you? It doesn't matter what it is to Fred down the street. It doesn't matter what it is to Mary who works in the shop. What is it to you? Is it, I suppose, the stereotypical money and possessions and material items, which absolutely fine if it is. Maybe that's just part of it to you. Is it your dream career? Is it being famous? Is it being in love and being loved by others? Is it freedom? And I'll underline freedom because pretty much everybody says that's an entrepreneur or that is chasing any type of success says they're doing so for freedom. So that's a very important one. Is it an abundance of knowledge? Is it all of those things? Money, career, fame, love, freedom, knowledge. Sounds good to me. Why not chase them all? Who says that you can't? Some people believe you need to be a millionaire by 30 or else you failed. Others believe if you haven't experienced success by the age of 40, then you never will. 50, 60 and beyond? What about those ages? Well, steady up. It's the nursing home and the grave you need to be preparing for. You've no chance of success. That boat has sailed. That is what some people believe. And that is complete bollocks. Yes, I'm cursing now. Fuck those people who believe that horse shit, and fuck you for listening to them. I don't really mean that. Please don't turn me off. I'm trying to be a bit hedgier. But seriously, I started this podcast for my children to listen to, hopefully in the future when they get a bit older. They've no interest in it now. They're too young. But I've gotten used to not using profanity because of that, because I was specifically recording it for my children. And a funny story, only last week, I was talking with someone who listens to this podcast, and I could see how shocked, I was looking in their eyes, and I could see how shocked they were when they realised that I can actually curse quite a bit in real life and in reality. Not that this isn't real life and reality, but it's a positive reflection of it as opposed to being warts and all, and how much more direct and unfiltered I am in real life. And all of us are. That's normal, and that's okay. There is a time and there's a place for cursing, and your personal social media should be like the way you present yourself in your job, where you put your best foot forward, you present a true version of yourself, but on a good day. I've talked about this in the past, and that's what ultimately your job or your business pays you for. Your customers, they want to see a good version of you. They don't want to see a grumpy, negative version of yourself on a bad day. That's not what they're paying for. Customers are our bosses, are just your job or your career in general. It's the insincere people who project a completely false version of themselves and their lives that annoys me a hell of a lot. And the fact that they manage to convince vulnerable and impressionable people by their lies and their deception, knowing that they're going to attempt to copy their perceived success. That's the bit that really bothers me. But anyway, back to what age should you be successful? Okay, drum roll, because the answer is after whatever age you currently are. So that's the answer. Whatever age you currently are, plus a bit. There is no limit. More than likely, you've achieved more success and experienced more success than you're giving yourself credit for right now. Currently, right now, if you're being honest, you've achieved and you've done a lot more. If you look at it, if you take a step back and look, we don't do it. We're very, very hard on ourselves. Continue to chase success and experience a wide variety of success. We talked about all the different ways, there's more than that, all the way from now, whatever age you are now, until you can't anymore. Screw external validation, because that's fleeting. Stop wrecking your internal validation by being so hard on yourself. Positively push yourself forward. You better start enjoying the process of chasing success in order to be able to go after your very own version of success, all the way until you reach those pearly gates. So this is a long-term thing that you should be enjoying the journey and not just thinking that success is this destination, which will never come, because you'll keep moving the goalposts. And so you should. Don't let anyone tell you that that's not the way it should be. Oh, be happy with your lot or be satisfied. Yeah, absolutely. Be happy with your lot while you're striving for more. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go get it. I wasn't originally, when I was thinking about this episode, I never really give examples of successful people. I never really name drop or get into names, because people are people, and each example is somebody that is a flawed person. We're all human beings. We're all flawed. And anytime you give an example of someone who's successful, it can turn a lot of people off. It can, turn you, the listener, off, because you might not be able to relate to, depending on the area that person, received the success, or how they received it, or who they are, I suppose. However, just in case this bit of motivation may help you, I am going to list 10 people, and absolutely apologies for the name pronunciation. As I said at the very start, I don't spend a lot of time in the preparation for this. I don't like each episode to be artificial, so I didn't bother Googling each name to make sure I was correct and correctly pronouncing them. Next door neighbours starting to cut the grass, so that's good news. Hopefully it doesn't affect the sound quality of this. But I'm starting off with the youngest of our elder successful people, and we'll increase the age from there. At number 10. Hopefully this will be interesting. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit of motivation, depending on where you are now, or regardless of where you are now and what age you are now. Right, number 10. Momofuku Ando, the instant noodle creator. Sure, you've had instant noodles, at the age of 50. Number 9. Charles Darwin created his theory of evolution at the age of 50. Right, you want something a bit older than that, right? Let's go. Julia Child, celebrity chef, which was spurred on by a book and then into television. 51. Not old enough for you, right? Let's go. Number 7. Probably one of the most used examples. Ray Kroc bought his first McDonald's and went on to build the empire from there, and that started at the age of 59. Number 6. Harlan Sanders, another greatly used example, the KFC founder, after failing to sell his recipe, managed to achieve success at the age of 62. Laura Ingalls Wilder, she started writing the Little House series of children's books at the age of 65. So 65 she started writing. It did create, and eventually led on to Little House on the Prairie. You may have heard about that show or not. It was very, very successful of its time. Number 4, Peter Mark, I don't know if it's Roget or Roger or pronounced something like that, but the Thesaurus. At the age of 73, he created his Roget's Thesaurus. Anyone uses Thesaurus before? Pretty handy. Number 3, Anna Mary Robertson, Moses. She became a painter at the age of 78. And she became a successful painter up to the point where in 2006, one of her paintings sold for 1.2 million. So I'm sure her paintings that are still out there are worth a hell of a lot more than that, because 2006, a while ago. Gladys Burrell became a marathon runner, the oldest woman to finish a marathon at the age of 92. And she only started marathon running at the age of 86. And the last example, number 1, first place, Harry Burstein. And he, or Burstein, I think it is, Harry Burstein, he became a famous writer at 96. Actually wrote his first book at 93, became a famous published author, and went on to, produce and write another 3 books. So he started at 93, and then it all worked out for him at 96. It's your turn now. So whether you are happy or unhappy with your story so far, continue forward, chase that success, and keep winning. Age is just a number. Thank you for listening. I'm Robert Devan, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.